Did you know that INFJ personality accounts for less than 1% of the population? There's a bit of variation depending on which source, but it's definitely a super rare type. Yet, countless of individuals are drawn to this personality type and often mistyping themselves to be an INFJ. I've met many people who claim to be INFJs based on an online personality test, but who I identify to be something completely else. In the world where we all want to know our true identity, beware of mistyping, because the path forward and finding your personality type is not so black and white and not straightforward. Welcome back to my video. It's been a while since I made a new video, and it's because I've been in the middle of moving and finally I'm in my new apartment. So let's continue with the personality types, and please comment below and subscribe so I know what kind of videos would you wish me to make in the future. Let's now dive deep into the world of INFJ, Introverted, Intuition, Feeling and Judging personality type. INFJ's interaction style is responding, which means they are receptive, which means they are proactive. It means they are more focused on their internal world rather than the external. They think, they reflect before they act. They are also directing, which means that they want discussions and they want situations to move to a certain direction. Although they can come across really friendly and warm, but still they wish things to go forward. They are also cooperative, which means that they will prioritize harmony and people over the outcome. INFJ's core needs is to find meaning and identity. Who am I? Who are you? Why are you here? They want to know the motivations and interests. Let's dive based on cognitive functions, the easiest way to approach INFJ. INFJ's first cognitive function is introverted intuition. They have an excessive understanding of their own internal world. They have a positive, creative approach to their own internal intuition, their gut feeling. And everything they see, everything they hear must be incorporated into this internal understanding of the world, internal perception of life. Their extroverted sensing picks up things from the environment so that they can flow together into a synergy. Their introverted intuition wants to make sense and take things together so that they can flow into a certain direction and that they understand internally the path. It's like a puzzle. Every piece has to fit into a puzzle. Introverted intuition gives INFJs this amazing capability of seeing what's the best outcome, what's the ideal version of the future. They can foresee things into the future, which can really be the drive for development for themselves and for others. And no one can give an INFJ their future. No one can tell an INFJ this is what you should want. INFJs have an inherent will and inspiration. If they really want something, they will go through anything to get there. For an INFJ, it is important to find their ideal inner purpose and their ideal inner outcomes of life. Second function, extroverted feeling. To gather external emotional data and to bring things into a harmony. This function for an INFJ is a supporting function. It has a natural negative inclination, which means that they have a tendency to look external emotions from a parental attitude. They are aware of what other people feel and what are the emotions of other people, more than their own internal emotional situation. INFJs would rather observe others people's emotions because they are introverted types. They're not pushing people to feel something, but they react when other people portray their emotions to them. This is why an INFJ can really easily feel guilty if you tell them, you hurt me, you're the reason why I feel this way. You did things wrong because you did not care about others. This is not the way to talk with an INFJ, because their extroverted feeling is a negative function, which means they are sensitive to the emotional response of others. Don't make INFJs feel guilty about others people's emotions. INFJs care about external harmony, they care about morals, and they can be almost like moral police. INFJs, although have a high moral standard for themselves, because extroverted feeling, they have the opposite, critical parent, introverted feeling, which means they are even more critical and parenting towards their own inner emotions and their own inner identity. Their inner self-worth is based on how other people value them. They are sensitive to the energy flow of the external. INFJs are sometimes the most extroverted people. They can also be the most introverted people. INFJs might alienate themselves from people due to their own inner low self-worth, or their feeling of not belonging to others. Their third function, relief child, is introverted thinking function. It is the internal logical order of things. INFJs want to understand. INFJs want to make sense of things. They want to reflect on things so that all the different perspectives make sense together. INFJs have a sense of innocence with their thinking, which is actually the reason why they can be really brilliant with their thinking and analytical capabilities. This is also why an introverted thinking user sometimes can create strong principles. This is the right way to do. This is what is true. If not careful, this childish thinking function can have really strong principles, which can also be a positive thing. Compared to the extroverted thinking user, an introverted thinking user has to think through things to make sense of the world. They don't take data from the outside and just put these things together and be like, okay, this is how it is. They rather have to evaluate every single thing and to see what are the other perspectives which make sense of this. Their thinking process can take a while. They're not fast thinkers. INFJ balances this thinking function with their feeling function, which means that this truth has to always be balanced with the morals, with helping people, with the community. This is an internal conflict with an INFJ. Sometimes you might have to hurt people to give them the truth. INFJ's last function is extroverted sensing, aspirational and inferior. They have a specific and concrete experience of the physical external world. This function, though, is a bit insecure, it's a bit negative, so it filters itself all the time. This function makes INFJs realistic and adaptable. They can really adapt to different situations flexibly, but also they see the concrete things happening around them and they bring those things together to understand the world. This insecurity could also lead to performance anxiety. For example, sensitivity to the concrete external can make you afraid of what are other people's response to how you look, how you smell, how you act. This function can make INFJs kind of superficial in the sense that they might want high status cars or things like that, depending on what does the INFJ focus on. This can make them really conscious of their social status when it comes to the assets and physical looks. What are the strengths of an INFJ? INFJs are really invaluable to society, like every other type, because the insights that INFJ can have with their introverted thinking and the empathetic capabilities with their extroverted feeling can really fuel their ability to change the world, to change the society for the better, and change people for the better. They can really foster growth and development among humans. They are really the types who can balance the needs of the community and yet have a strong grip with the future and foreseeing where are we going and why. They are the types who can explore and solve human inner conflicts, human external conflict with each other. And let's not underestimate INFJ's thinking and analytical capabilities. What are the weaknesses of INFJ? Great depth always comes with struggle. INFJs grapple with their own inner demons. Their sensitivity to the emotions of others and their own can lead to feelings of isolation and self-doubt. And their highly idealistic nature can sometimes lead them to even have mental health issues like anxiety or depression because of their sensitivity to the energy of others and their own. INFJs might stagnate because they have a negative approach to the external feelings of people, the external physical environment, and also the external intuition perception, which is that what if scenarios, what if this happens, what if this happens, this is how I see the future in the long run. But there are all these insecurities here. INFJs, interestingly, are judging types, which means that they want to organize a structure, but interestingly, INFJs are not extroverted thinking users. This can really create chaos in the INFJs world because they want to plan, organize, and structure, but they are not optimized for that. INFJs can be surprisingly dependent on other people when it comes to plans, structure, and organizing, and putting boundaries. Depending on their ego, INFJs can be really different if they're introverted thinking focused, if they're extrovert feeling focused, if they are extrovert sensing or introvert intuition focused. INFJs can be the ones who are the most warming and loving people, but they can also be the most cold-hearted, analytical, and robotic people. They can be down to earth and realistic, or they can be living in their head, in their idealistic worlds. The journey of an INFJ is self-discovery and growth, and they are all the time navigating in the depths of their inner intuition and their sensitivity to their own and external emotions. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Please keep exploring the depths of human psyche. Subscribe and comment below if you like this video. Tell me, what do you want to hear next? What can I do to delight you? See you in the next video.